Islam. Allah gave Noah the rainbow sign. Say no more water fire the next time. And we are here to set your souls on fire with love and holy zeal, making you conscious of your mission to the sons of men. At this time, I'd like to cite the Moorish American prayer because this is the source from which we draw our strength. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. First off, I'd like to rise, walking in Jerusalem, just like John, giving praise to Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible, the one who stretched forth to heaven with his hands, who have described with his fingers the courses of the stars, who set it bounds to the ocean that it cannot pass, and said to the stormy winds, be still. I'd like to give honor to the lily of the valley, the bright and morning star, talking about none other than our holy and illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I'd like to give honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali because it was he who reached down into the watery grave of hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harm and set you and me back upright on our feet again. I'd like to give honor to all of those and honor to all of you that have and will aid and assist us in this, our divine and gigantic mission, the uplifting of fallen humanity. And last but not least, I'd like to give honor to effort because so many of us don't even try. At this time, I'd like to read from the Moorish Holy Quran, the book of the seven seals, that none was able to open and read from its sacred pages the messages of purity and love. And I would like to read from chapter 5. And the verse that I'm going to read from is verse 15 and 16. And it reads on this wise. We use the compass to draw a circle around our passions and desires to keep them in the bounds of righteousness. We use the axe to cut away the knotty, useless, and ungainly paths that make the character symmetrical. The meeting is officially open according to the Circle 7 and love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Indeed, it's an honor, a pleasure, moreover a duty to be able to come before our Portland listening audience to talk to you about the last prophet in these days and time, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Tomorrow is a blessing just like every day. Tomorrow is the birthday of our holy and divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I'm so honored because this is my 50th anniversary of being in the Moorish Science Temple of America. So I like talking about Drew Ali. But today we have a good blessing. We have a couple of brothers that's going to come before our listening audience and let you know what Allah has blessed them with and how they have been born again through the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, a lot of us talk about being born again. And when we talk about being born again, we talking about going back to your mother's womb. But we know that which is of the flesh is of the flesh, and that which is of the spirit is of the spirit. So right now, we're going to start it off. And I want to call the first speaker my next leader, because Drew Ali came for the young and yet born. He said, old could follow if they won't, but he come from the young and yet born. So at this time, I'll call the more and let him tell you who he is.
Islam, brother, man. Praise Allah. Honor to his prophet, Noble Drew Ali. My name is Brother Durrel Kinsey. I'm from Tri-Cities, born in Kennewick, Washington. Now I reside here in Portland, Oregon. And here you see my 11-month-old brother Nazir Kinsey. I'm blessed to be here because Prophet Noble Drew Ali changed my life. He gave me the opportunity to think, reason, will, and understand, to be able to be a light in a dark world, to be able to be a message in of itself, to be the epitome of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. He gave that opportunity to me because when I was 12 years old, I was asked a question by Brother William Nicholas Bell Bay. He asked me, "What is your nationality?" I pondered and I contemplated for a little moment, and I was puzzled because the answer that I gave was African American. And he got me to thinking and said, "How can you be from two different continents?" I thought to myself, well, that possibly can't be true. And I know black is simply just a color. Then he opened up the dictionary and began to show me that black is an adjective, something that describes a noun. Therefore, it can't be an identifier. So then he gave me some literature from Prophet Noble. And one of the first questions, I remember like it was yesterday, as being almost 17 years ago. The question was, who made you? The answer was Allah. Now, I, being raised, Judeo-Christian with a Jewish background of mysticism from my father, who's present with us, Kwame Enoch Bey. And God was the name that was always mentioned, and God was understood to be the Almighty and things of that nature. And then Brother William Nicholas Bell Bay began to tell me about this science and language known as etymology, the study of words and their origin. And he said, well, God is derived from a Germanic word, meaning gut or gut, meaning to invoke, meaning it's a verb. It's an action. It's something that the one that we call God is the one who is producing that action, the one who's providing that action to be created. The creation, not the created.
That's right.
So then I began to go back in the Bible because I was raised as a Christian. Most of us were, and I went to Matthew's 27 chapter 46 verse, and in that chapter, Jesus, it said, Allah, lama sabachthani. And of course, there's many different translations, but the King James expresses that it was Illah. And when we go deeper in the history of what Elah is, that's ancient Canaanite, Aramaic, also known as the Afro-Asiatic language, Islam. And so then I was like, well, wait a minute. Jesus wasn't German. The German language didn't exist at the time when he was on the planet Earth. So this word that's being identified as the Almighty Creator, the causeless cause and the rootless root from which all things have come forth from, God cannot be that proper expression of our Father. And it made it so apparent to me that Allah was the most perfect name to use. And it wasn't based off of some, dogmatic, worship or dogmatic expression of a God. It was an understanding of the God. And in the Arabic tongue, it is expressed, La ilaha illallah. There's no God but Allah. And so this transformed my whole entire understanding of the world that I was living at 12 years old. I made it apparent to my mother to say, hey, I can't go to church with this old understanding. And then time went on and I said, Mom, I can't go to church. And honest to my mother, Pamela Kinsey, who made it apparent to show truth and love in her son's heart, didn't damage my spirit, because she's still a Christian minister. But I tell you what, today she says Assalamu alaikum when she sees me. And she's honors to his prophet, Noble Jew Ali.
Right. That's right. That's right.
In due time, she'll know that he indeed is and was and always will be Jesus come again.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
As some would say, the exalted Christ.
Speak that.
So this is something that changed my life over 17 years ago. I just turned 29. I'm blessed with a son who's about to be 1 next month. And I thought and pondered about, giving him a name. What should we call him? Is what Prophet Noble gave an article. Because we were called Negroes, blacks, coloreds, African American, Hispanic, Latino, Indian, Native American. These are names created by someone other than the people that is supposed to express and respect them. We just had Kwanzaa celebration and talking about Kunji Chagalia, which is self-determination. Why are these individuals not feeling self-determined? They have no concept, or we rather have no concept of self, and we have no concept of determination. So Noble Drew Ali was able to make that clear for us to have the ability to think, reason, will, and understand. And then he explained to us that was the actions of the soul. The actions, not his essence. So then he began to show us more about the soul, began to show us more about the spirit, and even told us more about the body. He told us things about ourselves that we didn't even know. And that is someone who took it upon themselves to be a willing sacrifice for you and me. And that is something that my son was birthed into knowing right away.
That's right.
The generational curse is completely broken. And again, like I said, my father's present with us. He's not able to be on the camera today, but honors to him and my mother, because they did their due diligence to not be a superstitious people. The Quran talks about in chapter 16, we just went over the other day, about the superstitious people are the Jews. We were able to be blessed to know that my grandmother told us that we are descendant of the original Jews. So I had a foundation to be able to catapult myself in a way that I could be able to perceive and conceptualize what is and what is not. So I've been blessed. I am blessed. I am a blessing.
That's right.
And now I have a blessing.
That's right.
To bless more and be blessed by. Because it's a reciprocal mutual obligation that we have between a father and a son. And my father's still with us, praise Allah, and we have the ability to have it a triune effect.
That's right.
With the wisdom, will, and the
right.
love.
That's right.
Right? And so that's something that I am blessed to share. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be Moorish American. Not to be too long-winded, but, there's individuals who have taken upon themselves to share the importance to this society about how they identify themselves. We're not going to get too deep into that, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's important for people to be able to identify themselves how they want to be identified. And we got to respect that. Just as well as you respect me when I say, hey, I might look this way. I might look black. I might look African American, but I indeed am not. My race is Asiatic. My ethnicity, I'm a Moor. And nationality is the order of the day, and I'm Moorish American. I'm American citizen. My ancestors were here in America for thousands of years, and they're here in Africa thousands of years, in Europe, did a whole bunch of marvelous things, built castles, educated, did aqueduct systems, and they did that in Asia, and they did it in Australia. And I'm sure archaeological evidence will come back and tell us that we did some stuff in Antarctica as well. In due time, I'm sure that would be revealed. Islam.
Right. That's right.
We're the first people that walked on the planet Earth, and that's race pride is not racism. It's not. And I stand on that, and I stand on that with love, with a pure heart, and a sound mind.
That's right. That's right.
So praise Allah for the ability to be able to speak here. Praise Allah for my son. Praise Allah for my wife. Save the best for last. Because the thing is, thought is the cause of it all. My mother talked to me and she said, son, you need to get a wife. And I'm like, well, yes, Mom, I know I need to get a wife. She said, well, write it down. But the Bible talks about write it down and make it plain. And I wrote out what it is indeed that I wanted, that Allah put on my heart to have. And lo and behold, I had a conversation with my father. I'm in Portland going to a farm. And he said, son, be yourself. Be yourself. Yeah, you're going to be all right, son. And so I'm pull up to a farm and I see this beautiful chocolate resonating. Call her a gazelle because I was a lion. I'm a lion of Judah, Islam.
That's right. That's right.
And she was attacked,
Teach, brother.
but she was willing to be
Yeah.
the prey. And I pray to Allah
That's
for that
right.
beautiful creation that Allah
That's
has
right.
blessed me with.
That's right.
Yeah.
But she's a lioness too, no question about it.
That's right.
She got her fire, she got her teeth, she got her roar, Islam.
Islam.
And that's what keeps the fire going, dealing with the Aries as myself being a Sagittarius. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. I love you. I love you so much.
That's right.
I like making her feel fuzzy and warm inside. Islam.
That's right. That's right.
The tender love and the delicacy of her frame, Islam.
That's right.
The Prophet Noble made it very clear to have that romance as Moorish.
That's right.
Because we're not Romans, Islam.
Yeah, that's right.
But we want to have the sentimental love and affection that we want to bestow upon the beautiful creation that Allah has blessed
That's
us
right.
with. And it's our duty to protect it. Islam. So that's what I love to share. You know, I don't want to be too long-winded. You know, I know Moors love to communicate and talk.
Yes, sir.
But I'll yield the floor and be blessed by more fruits of the labor.
Praise Allah.
right.
Thank you, Mo.
Praise
It was
God.
always an honor to hear brothers. See, that's the Last Supper. See, and Jesus was talking to his disciples at the Last Supper. What did he give them? He gave them food for thought. And this is what the brother just gave us today here on the MoorishVoice television broadcast, because it's about Noble Jew Ali. It's about his birthday. And we're going to get a little more into that right now. But before I call, I want to say something to this brother here. There was a girl named Robin Roberts or something. And Robin Roberts is getting ready to get married. She's getting ready to get married to another woman that's she's on the television. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Then there's another little girl named Brittany something. She is just came back home from over there in somewhere she played basketball. But I want to give you a lesson. When Noble Jew Ali founded the Moorish Science Temple of America in 1913, the first thing he did was took us back. He took us back to 1492. And in 1492, there were certain things that we didn't do. There were certain things that those of African descent didn't do and didn't partake in. And when I was a child, my father was born in 1898. You know what I mean? He was born in 1898. And he told my mother, he said, if that boy, when that boy grow up, tell him to never do this, tell him to never do that. There were certain things that our brothers and sisters didn't do during that time. You know, and this is why the Moors went into Spain, to bring the Europeans out of doing those things that bring about hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harm. So to see this brother with his wife and the babies and letting us know that they are our future, and looking at his father and seeing how his father is smiling because he's looking at his son and his grandson, we are honored. And I'm honored to be here and be a part of this great mission of uplifting fallen humanity, teaching those things necessary to make our members better citizens. But now I got a blessing for you. I have another blessing for you. You know, there was one state in the Union that had racism in the Constitution, and that was here in Portland, Oregon. We had to be in the house by sundown. If you wasn't in the house by sundown, you're going to lose your life. So the brother that I'm getting ready to call is from right here in Portland, Oregon. One of the strongest brothers I done met since I've been here, because I've been here almost 10 years. And I come here the week after that, I had a TV show because I had people working with me. But this brother have a mind, just like Brother Kinsey Bey. He have a mind, and the mind, see, everybody don't have minds. See, they say, where is the mind, though? The mind is all over. The mind is in you, and the mind is in me. And when I look at those children, that's our future. That's what you all say. He say he come for the young, and he say he come for the yet born. He said, but the old could follow if they want. So the sister, your mission is a little different than the brothers, because Jew Ali say all times are not alike. He said sometimes the woman teach best. So our lessons and the woman's lessons is a little different. So we have a brother now, Brother Rambo-El. I seen a TV show one time, and the dude's name was Rambo-El. Rambo. Oh, I forgot who played the picture, but I know the me. And this brother here, every time I see him talking about the prophet, he reminds me of Rambo. So without further ado, I'd like to call my brother and our friend, Brother Rambo-El.
Islam. This is a very special day for me because I've been on the road for quite some time now. I drive over the road. I have purchased a truck in June 28th. Me and my family went in on the truck, brand new Volvo 860. Went and got out of Dallas on the 28th. Been on the road ever since this year. It's a lot of hardships when you're out there on the road because you're dealing with a lot of different attitudes of people that are out there operating vehicles. And for some reason, they don't understand that the vehicle that they're operating and the vehicle that I'm operating are two different sizes of vehicles. And oftentimes you have individuals that pull in front of you when you're going at a speed of 65 or 70, 75, depending on the state that you're in. And it alarms me because I find myself talking to myself a lot as if I'm talking to the person that's in the car in front of me or a truck. And then I take a look at all of that and I could put it into the terms of people walking in your way, trying to get you off course. The course that you see fit for yourself and that you see fit for those that are around you. When you see the beauty in the world, and then you see the ugliness as well, it's the ugliness that's cutting in front of the beauty, oftentimes. When we lift up our eyes and we see the truth, then it's up to us to grab the truth and hold on to it dearly. This is what the prophet Durrel had brought to me. He brought me out of the truck. He brought people out of getting in my lane. He had me take a view of myself, to see myself in truth. I didn't know anything about Durrel at all. Here in Portland, Oregon, there's a lot of people that we knew nothing of that looked as we looked. We pretty much looked at whatever name was given to us that year or that day or that month, then that's what we called ourselves. So if we were Negroes, then I'm a Negro. And if somebody called me black, wait, hold up, I'm not black, I'm a Negro. I'm going to fight you because you're calling me something that I'm not. But it took time for me to meet the prophet. I was being prepared to meet the prophet. I didn't know it. I don't believe anyone knew that we would have a prophet that would come to save his people in America. Just as Jesus went to save the Israelites from the iron-head oppression of the pale-skinned nation of Europe and Palestine during that era and time, so has the prophet Durrel came to redeem us as well. When the prophet came knocking at my door, I was looking around. I didn't know I didn't know that person. Who is this? I don't know you. What are you doing at my door? I'm a Crip. What you got going on? You a Crip? I said, I'm the prophet. Durrel. Looked at him. I seen that illumination. I seen that beauty. And I seen all the love just come serenading off of him and started engulfing me and gave me a hug and said, I love you. And this is the truth. He provided me the truth. I was living lies. Every day was a lie. I'm going to lie to you in a minute to get what I want. But the prophet said, you ain't got to lie to me. I already know. I already know you lying. So let's stop that. Right. Let's take a different look at things. Take a look at your situation.
That's right.
Take a look at how you've been living. Take a look at your character, your integrity. Does anybody trust you? Did anybody trust me? Trust. What is trust? The prophet brought me into being able to trust him, to follow and go in the direction that he went. Even though he knew I was going to be sliding off course here and there. Hold up, come here. Let me pull you back over here. Let's go. No separation. Let's go. He directed me to the Sheik. He directed me to the Sheik. He directed me to me so that I could get a clear understanding of who I am, because I didn't know. He told me that, you know, you come from greatness. I said, oh, yeah, I did. He said, did you know that you are you a genius? I said, yeah, I am. He said, did you know that the beauty that you have inside of you is the beauty that we all have, but we just don't know? And I said, yeah, I can, yeah, I hear you. He said, but let me tell you something. He said, did you know that I came to redeem you? Did you know that I came to uplift fallen humanity? No, I just looked at him. I knew nothing about redemption. I knew nothing about uplifting. I was a destroyer. But he took me out of that mode. He changed the way that I thought. He took me 360 degrees. He took me 360 degrees so that I could see the truth for me. Do you want peace? I was craving peace. I was crying for peace, but I just didn't know how to get a piece of it. Do you want freedom? I think we all do, but I don't know what it is because I've never felt it. Do you want justice? I don't know what justice is, but if it's something that's right, well, yes, I do. So he gave me the things that I needed. He gave me the literature and told me to study. Study what? Study your two selves.
Right.
Study your higher and your lower self. You have a choice to choose which one you want. I'm not going to force you to choose, but I'm going to put it in you to choose righteously and walk righteously and follow me. See, it's a lot of the times that what I had going on in my life is I was confused. I feel like I've been used, abused, kicked, stamped, molested. All of these things. I was just feeling that these things was happening to me.
That's right, Mo.
But these things that were happening to me were things that I was bringing about on myself, on my lower self. I was allowing my lower self to rule my higher. So I let the falsehood things in life, Thanksgiving, oh, I'm going to go get that piece of that turkey, not even knowing that this turkey, the main course, is something when we was defeated, and we were known as turkeys, Ottoman Turks, the turkeys. This is the main course we defeated. And we being the swine, will let us put the swine next to the main course and let's put the dressing here to dress it all up. It was hard for me to see the truth. It was hard for me to embrace it, to internalize it, because I was dead inside. I was just walking around in that shallowy grave, that watery grave. I wasn't lifted. My brother Jesus got lifted off the shallowy grave. That's why he was able to walk on water. I'm still trying to get there. I'm still trying to walk on water. I'm trying to walk on land. So getting the water, hey, I first got to be able to walk on the land that I'm walking on right now, that I'm on. You know, I had when I came off the road, coming back to Portland in all of its ugliness, I see the beauty. And I wasn't trying to come off the road and come back to Portland. It's just that was what was brought
Yes,
in the
sir.
direction too. I was talking to the Sheik. Sheik said, "You're going to be here for the prophet's birthday." And I said, "I don't know, Sheik. I don't know. I'd like to be." Excuse me. Sheik said, "Well, brother, we'd love to have you because we got a beautiful brother and his family coming on the show, brother Kinsey Bey." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I like that brother. It's a good brother. I got real good vibes when I speak to this brother because the brother's always level. He ain't too high and he ain't too low. But sometimes I find myself like that song Michael Jackson was singing when he said it's too high to get over and it's too low to get under. You stuck in the middle. That was me. I was stuck in the middle. I didn't know how to get from up under that, to maneuver from that.
That's right.
But the prophet came and just slid me on up out of there and stood me upright. Perfect and square. See, I'm fearless now. I was a coward before because I was following other cowards, doing cowardly acts.
That's right.
I'm fearless now. I have a friend. She's a very beautiful woman. But I don't understand the beauty of the woman that's before me. I don't understand it.
Sound like you, Mo.
Simply because I'm fighting against myself. Don't want to open up the channels. Don't want to take and open up my mind so that I can expand things and see the beauty in all the things that are around me that want the best for me and sees the beauty in me. So I had to open my eyes and take a look at myself and see that you're not doing yourself any justice here. You're doing yourself the injustice. The justice that you want is not the justice you're going to receive if you're not doing just by others that are around you. I took a look at this word love and I said, what is love? What is it? What is love? Unconditional, something that you give unconditionally to someone else without looking for anything in return. Placing myself in the position of that person, showing empathy for that person when that person's in a dark place, not able to get out of that, get out of the crevices of it. And I said, what is love? Well, it's that indestructible God essence in us. It's the spirit. Indestructible God essence in us. That's why we still here. As much as the opposition tried to destroy us as a people, because we have that indestructible God essence in us, we can't be destroyed. So why are we fearful? Wow. What do we fear when we can't be destroyed? The only ones that can destroy you is you. I'm the only one that can destroy myself, is me. And then what is truth? Truth is the soul. My brother was just speaking about thinking. And the prophet stated that if I can only get my people to think, they would save themselves. The only true savior is self. Wow. So you have the ability to think. You have the ability to reason. You have the will to persevere, to will yourself forward, to overcome the obstacles that's being placed before us. And then we have the understanding of our purpose, what our duty here is on earth as the first seed, the first people to populate the plane of things made manifest, to bring civilization into one thought, one form. We beautiful. We're beautiful. We all beautiful. Everybody in this room is beautiful. Everybody here is beautiful, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be here. Then I had to take a look at this thing called peace. What is that? That's the flesh? What is all this? What is this peace? Well, this peace is within you. My brother Jesus specifically stated that the true kingdom of God is within you. If you want to find that peace, go within. Draw it out. Present it to other people. Why? Because you have it to give. You can't give something you don't have.
Praise Allah, Mo.
And then there's this thing called freedom. Freedom is your nationality. That's the order of the day. It's the foundation of mankind. It's what the prophet told me. I trust and believe in it. I ain't even got to look it up, but he told me to take a look at it anyway to make sure that I knew it was true, what he was saying. And then it was this word called justice, righteousness, to show righteousness amongst all. So all subjects that are around you, you show righteousness by each one of them. You don't show one more than the other. You show it all the same. And this is what I draw from the prophet every day. Just taking a look and just feeling the literature, the texture of it just feels so good and pure. It just feels so good. And then when I was holding my little brother over here, who I have a birthday. Me and him have the same birthday. So I honor my little brother. My little brother let me hold him. He was taking a look at things. He took a look at the Sheik's fairs. He took a look at my fairs, and he looked at his dad's fairs, and he was like, okay, I see some things here. I am as they are. And this is what the prophet wanted us to go ahead and get an understanding that he came for him. He came to make me up to go ahead and get to him.
That's right.
To wake him up and season his mind with the maxims of truth. This is my duty. And I love the duty that's been given. And I have to open my eyes and see the beauty that's been presented to me. A woman that is a beautiful woman that's been presented to me, that I have to recognize and understand that she was presented for me. And I have to open myself up so that she and I can become one in our thought and our actions, our works and our deeds, and show that we are the resurrection that the prophet wants us to be within. And then we can show all the world on the out. And on that, I'll go ahead and I'll turn this over to our great adat, and that is Sheik James Lynch-Bey.
Praise Allah. But y'all can't go nowhere. Y'all got to come back. But I want to share something. They had a soccer player that just died. His name was Pele or something like that. Y'all know who I'm talking about?
Yes, indeed.
And they say he the baddest brother that was he took this game to another level. But now when you talk about Pele, where's he from? And I'm looking at our Moorish Holy Quran, and it say Negro. It says name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contained black water. So now Pele was born where? In Brazil. So now when Drew Ali said Negro is a name given to a river in West Africa, what part of West Africa? Where at in West Africa? It was Brazil. So West Africa is where the slave trade came through. So when we see that brother Pele, when you look in your 101 questions, and 86 say Negro, say a name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contained black water. When you see that, you see the prophet telling us that that Negro River is in Africa. It's nowhere else but Africa. Noble Drew Ali gave us that. Also in Key 85. Key 85 says, name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774. Now, we know that it was 1774, but Noble Drew Ali said it twice. He said 1774, and then he said 1776. And the reason why he said, 1779. But the reason why it was given to us in 1774, because in 1774, the United States was not recognized as having its independence from the mother country of England. So it officially came on record in 1779, and that's why the prophet said what he said about that. So now we're looking at us. Brothers and sisters always talk about the 15th century. What took place in the 15th century? What took place here and what took place there? But you know about Queen Isabella. You know about Ferdinand. You know that 711 to 1492. In 1492, this is when the last stronghold of the Moors fell in Granada, Spain, and that's when the Christians and all them started moving. The Visigoths and the Goths started moving. Because when you begin to talk about, what did you already say? Durrel was talking about the Portuguese, he was talking about the Dutch, and he was talking about the French. And he was talking about a lot of more other European nations. And the reason why he did that, because when you begin to talk about the slave trade, just like what's her name? The girl that just died,
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth. So she is the royal family. And I thought Jesus was the royal family. Because they said that Jesus' father was Joseph, and Mary's mother was Anna. See? And then they talk about Mary's father, who was Joachim. And they talk about Ruth's husband, which was Boaz. And see, you're talking about yourself. And this is why we're here now to celebrate the birth of Prophet Noble Jew Ali, because, brother, there's a sister, friend of mine. She passed from there named Sister L. Austin Bey. She was married to a brother named German Bey. And Sister Austin Bey was talking one day, and she was talking about some people. And you never hear no more about them. And in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we're hearing about the prophet. Even though we're not under one head like the prophet left it, because he said one prophet, one temple, one nation, the Moors are living. The Moors are in the earth. The Europeans done everything they could to get us out the way, but Allah said no. Now, like I say, ain't but one temple, ain't but one prophet, ain't but one nation, and whatever temple you come up in, that's where you got to go back to and work from there. That's why I say every subordinate temple, under the Grand Major Temple, is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs along in conjunction with the laws of the prophet. So a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters that was over here, and they left here and went somewhere else, you're in violation. Because every subordinate temple can form their own laws and customs. If Rambo-El and I don't get along, I can't leave him. I got to still work with him. He might just have a different temple. Because I'm looking at you. I see your wife. I see the babies. I see the family. Brother, this is your temple right here in Portland, Oregon. We got some brothers and sisters, man, that will come in here and aid and assist you to help you build this up, because it's about the youngsters. It's about them children. It's about teaching Sunday school. It's about teaching these things to our little ones, just like right now. They got a lot of brothers, and they have a lot of sisters that's out there in the world. And they're always talking about we are black people. And when you call yourself black, you are outside of the constitutional fold, because when we went into Spain in 7-11, who were we?
Right.
We was Moors. And when you begin to talk about you being a Moor, and when you were talking about going to the European to deal with certain issues, the only way you can go to him and deal with certain issues, you got to go as Moorish. You can't go as nothing else. That's why a lot of them brothers, especially out of Detroit, I was talking to a sister on the phone just a couple of days ago. They had a homegoing service in Detroit. See, that's where Lomax Bay and all them, bro. That's where what you call them. That's why we got dues card. I done sent you one. I sent it to everybody. Did you get a copy of it? The dues card, Elijah Muhammad's dues card.
Yeah.
See, they got pictures of it. They're going to show this stuff in a little while. See, all this stuff, Mo, and it tells you on certain things that you see. These people was once with the Jew Ali, Mo. Jew Ali was the only one, Mo. Everybody else done sold out. And if you call yourself Negro, colored, and black, you done sold out. If you call yourself black, you done sold out. Like my mother never was black. My mother was always colored. I really wasn't never black, because when I grew up, we was Negroes. And we was colored. And black came later on. That was derogatory. So this is why you come in where you is, Mo. But your lesson of the day is one prophet, one temple. You see what I mean? That's what he said. He said, ain't but one. And when you find brother jumping from one grand body to another grand body, get away from them, because you don't know why they left. You don't know what the subject matter is. And this is what I'm talking to sheiks about every day. They got sheiks all across the country, Mo. Their fathers were with the prophet. Their mothers were with the prophet. A lot of them leave. You want to go across the country and meet these brothers and sisters. Just because we say we're a sheik, I mean, I know some sheiks, man, that's 90 years old. See? So when I meet a Moorish American, I'm trying to find out what blessings that I could get from him so I could pass these blessings on to my children. But a lot of brothers, you hear about a brother, they want to go challenge him and see why. That's not what it's about, Mo. Because right now, our blessing is that we're Moorish Americans. And I'm listening to both of y'all right now. Y'all talking about women. Y'all talking about marriage. You talking about taking care of your children. And this is what Drew Ali told us. He told us about the take them through that self away. But I'm going to tell you, if brothers and sisters is still in that old stuff that Drew Ali told us to give back to Caesar, we got to stop it. We got to give back to him. That's European. In all the world, there's two things. One is Asiatic, and the other is European. Now, there was a time when the whole world was called Asia. And when the whole world was called Asia, then Europe came. So now you got two formulations in the human family, Asiatic and European, and the European are European. European wasn't always European. The whole world was called Asia. I'm telling you, the whole world was once called Asia. Now it got two different formulations, Asiatic and European. So now we're talking about the Moroccan Empire. And when you begin to talk about the Moroccan Empire, then you're looking at brothers and you're looking at sisters. And they say that I'm a Hebrew Israelite or I'm a Hebrew. Yes, you are. But that ain't got nothing to do with your religion. We ain't talking about your religion right now. Yes, you are Hebrew. Yes, you are Hebrew Israelite. Yes, you are whatever else you want to be because it's all come out the East anyway. But we're talking about nationality right now. There's something totally different. You could be whatever religion you want to be, but we're talking about nationality. Nationality is the order of the day. Everybody have a nationality except you and me. And when we go to the European and talking about reparation, you can't go to reparation about no black man because black, according to science, means death. Negro is the name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contains black water and colored as anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed, or even scented.
That's right.
And this is where we come in at, Mo. Nobody else is talking this talk. They done let me see, when Drew Ali was here, he had Lomax Bay and all them over there in Detroit. But what I was getting ready to say, that came up. A lot of Moors is messed up because a lot of brothers and sisters sold the prophet out, Mo. They done sold this brother out. They done took money. You got the tape, I done sent it out. I sent it to everybody. And these were the ones that the European said, just don't tell them. You can tell them anything you want to say, but just don't tell them they're Moorish. You could be black, you could be colored, you could be everything what you want to be, but we don't want you to be who your forefathers were. Because man is not Negro, colored, or black. And when we went into Spain in 711 to try to bring Europe out of the Dark Ages, we was Moors. And the Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Who are these Moabites? They are the biblical sons and daughters of Ham, one of the three sons of Noah according to the biblical scriptures. And this is why we're Hamitic by decent nature, by the way of life. Now, the European, you got to understand before we was born, stuff is going on like now. What we're talking about, this stuff been going on. But just stay right where you at and build. Because if I'm saying, if you talking about you want to get a temple, you already got one, I'm not talking about you. If we open up a temple, the sister's going to be in there. The brother's going to be in there. We're going to have the children in there. We're going to be teaching Sunday school. We're going to travel and learn and grow. And see, you young, Mo. You 27 years old. You a young brother, Mo. You's a baby. I'm serious. Mo, I'm telling you, you see, what year you joined the temple?
It's 2016, 2015.
Wow. This is a blessing, Mo. This is your blessing. This is why Allah sent you. Never had my chance of accident. Divine law got them all events. This brother just said that he was a Crip. You know why I wanted to hear that? Because here in Portland, Oregon. See, like I say, when I first got here to Portland, you know, if you ever look at the paper, you see when Umar Johnson came up here. You seen that? You see the thing I put out there? Where the brother was Kenny. Kenny no longer was here. But everybody here in Portland, Oregon, Mo, what were they doing? They were going down to the courthouse. Going down to the courthouse trying to get some paperwork. The only way that you could get any kind of paperwork is in the Moorish Science Temple of America. You can't get that nowhere else because this is not what Noble Drew Ali said. He said the Moorish Science Temple of America. Now, when you talk about the Moorish Science Temple, it's two flags. I know they got a flag that look like this and they switched up to look like this, but it's two flags. And they're national and national descent. And when you can join, it make you Moorish America. One without the other is but half. You're not Negro, colored, and black. You just can't give up the name. You got to give up the principles as well. So you doing a good job, Mo. It might look like that we ain't doing nothing, but Mo, I know some more that been Mo's all their life. You are really, and they got stuff, Mo. Just like I just showed you that little stuff about that man, they got some stuff, Mo. This stuff, Mo just said something about something, man. It's a lot of stuff. Once we get our chair, I'm not saying do what you're doing with whoever else you're doing. But while you here, if you're not with them, we need to establish something here. So we could build something and do something because we could do great work. That's what it's about, Mo. That's why Drew Ali was sent to redeem us from our sinful ways and to warn us of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. Now we talking about Jesus. Everybody wants to talk about Jesus. But when you begin to talk about Jesus, you got to look at his mother. And when you look at Jesus' mother, who was that? That's Mary. Her mother was Anna. And that reminds me of what you're saying about your family, because we are the Jews. Everything that's in Europe, Mo, is wheat and hay. But like I say, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, like me. My father is Lynch is Irish. Irish, because my name is Lynch. And he was living in Ireland because he was over there before he come over here to the United States. So what I'm saying is, Mo, right now, it might have to happen when he grow up. You don't want to send nobody out there on the road and let's go to do. No, it ain't going to work that way, Mo. You just bring the children up. And what we build this foundation. We get a building. We have places for children to come, daycare. We do all of that ourselves. And then we could go and have a voice. But right now, you don't have no voice nowhere. Them people been around 100 years. These Moors been around 100 years, and if you run around telling them they need to do this, do that, you ain't gonna get your blessings. You ain't gonna get no blessings like that because they're still growing. Let me tell you something else I learned, brother, because this is the prophet's birthday, and we're here to talk about the prophet. And the blessings is, both of y'all talking about y'all in love. Both of y'all in love. But yeah, I love that, man, because this is what the prophet said. He said, take unto thyself a wife and obey the ordinance of Allah. Take unto thyself a wife and become a faithful member of society. But examine with care and fix not suddenly on thy present choice depends that future happiness. Look at your baby right there, man. Yeah. This is the baby. That's what it's about. This is what it's about. You see what I mean? You got your father there, because he going to come. He going to come and him and beef. We're going to be beefing, though. But yeah, I like that, man. I like that. It's rare that you see that. And you got your father to come here and see you teaching about the prophet. This is deep, Mo, because this can go all across the globe. I know I got 300-400 people look at this all the time anyway, and they get a chance to see what you taught. And by seeing what you taught, then they could grow from it. Look at it. There go Jesus again. See? Look just like you. See? Born Bethlehem. Look at it. Talking about King David. Talking about Solomon. Talking about Hezekiah. Talking about Joseph by Mary. You know what I mean? So, man, it's a blessing, Mo. It's a blessing, but so we talking about kingdom. We talking about the Moroccan Empire, the Moroccan kingdom. So all these brothers that's running around calling themselves black or whatever they call themselves, if we talking about going to the European for reparation, the first thing we have to do is be who our forefathers were. Because you can't go to him telling him, I'm a black man and we want our reparation. Black who? Black, according to science, means that you're part of the Moroccan Empire. Why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are the descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Who are these Moroccans? They are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So like I say, you could be a part of 2 or 3 different ones. Get a chamber right here. There's a lot of brothers qualifying, going to get stuff that we're going to need. You could do that.
Before didn't Malcolm, Brother Malcolm X, go before the UN to try to, under the Negro or the black?
Yeah. And then at the end of it, he said, well, man, can I get on the agenda of Afro-Americans then? He said, I can't get on the agenda of Negro, color, the black. Can I? He said, come on, Malcolm, man, you're intelligent. You know that Africa is a continent, a very large continent. What nation do you represent? Where do your people come from? Who are you? Like I say, the Europeans took everything from us, Mo. They took everything. They took our name, our land, our culture. They took everything. But Allah is getting ready to give it back. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to tell you something that he said. He said he's going to make the European forces law. The prophet said that. But you have to understand, right now, Ma, we don't know how long it's going to be. Because all we got to do is just raise these babies up, and we're going to sit down at the table. And once we all, just like I just showed you pictures of sitting grandpa and all of them, they know they got to give a lot of that stuff up, man. Because they know everything but their own ignorance. Ain't but one prophet. Well, I got a good friend of mine. He got two prophets. They got 2 or 3 different prophets. I ain't got no problem. If you got 2 or 3 different prophets, let's have them. But my thought is this. Let's try to deal with what Drew Ali brought first. You can go to prophet number 2 and the reincarnation. You can do all that. But let's just try to work Drew Ali's program first. He have a program. Drew Ali wasn't gone 7 days. And one of the brothers, I don't want to say that because I'm still close to all them do, but I got to say it sometime because we do. And you tell me I'm back. Back where? We ain't did nothing yet. You tell me you back. See, ain't but one prophet. In every nation, one prophet, one temple, one nation. And once we come together, then we can start growing. Try to unfold as the bud unfold to show the flower, then we can step to Rome.
That's right.
We could step to Rome and get the things that we were talking about. I seen on the news the other day, the Sheik was talking about a lot of brothers and sisters going down to the courthouse. And a lot of them in jail, and they go to court from jail, and they go down there and tell the judge, man, I'm a Moorish American. So what that mean? What they gonna give you? They ain't gonna give you no money? Mm-hmm. You being a Moorish American, what do you have? To say, because I'm saying I'm a Moorish American, I'm trying to get my reparation. So I can get Rambo-El and use some of my money, man. I want my money. You know what I mean? I'm not Negro, black, and color. But now, you got brothers and you got sisters that say they love Drew Ali and they're members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But do you attend all your meetings? Do you keep in line with all necessities? Do you have a dues card? What are you doing in the Moorish Science Temple? Do you have meetings every week on holy day and Sunday school, a cultural class? Do you have these things? And what are we doing to build in the community? And that's what we're going to be getting ready to do, Mo. This is a nucleus right here. This brother here, you can come on here every month and talk a half hour. See? And talk about some of the things that you just talked about because it's important, Mo. Because, okay, so it's always an honor, Mo, because we're going to be closed out and then we're going to do another. It's always an honor to be able to come here because this is the Last Supper. When Jesus was with his disciples at the Last Supper, what did he give them? Food for thought. And we just fed you today, food for thought. The Moorish Science Temple of America, here to talk about Prophet Noble Drew Ali and his manifestation day. So in conclusion, I would like to recite the Moorish American prayer, the source from which we draw our strength. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Wade in the water, wade in the water, Marvin, wade in the water.